Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and today we are doing the Beast Quest Series 17 retrospective video. This is going to be part of a big group of videos I'm going to be recording to release over from when this video is released for the next few weeks or months hopefully. So don't know how many videos I'll be, but I do plan to get a fair few done. I'll explain why on a video I'll be releasing on the 17th of February, and with that, yeah, let's get into the video. So with this, I'm doing a retrospective video on the Series 17 Beast Quest series known as the Broken Star. This series introduces 4 beasts, which are Griff the Feathered Fiend, Forerunner the Living Storm, Okko the Sand Monster, and Sorex the Silent Creeper. So with these 4 beasts here, I would say on a first look basis, they seem to be interesting, with 2 designs which are unique to the entire series, and 2 more which aren't as unique but still look very intriguing for how much of an intimidation factor they kind of give. But when you read them, then your opinion may differ. For me, I had high hopes going into the series. This was before my Beast review, and after, well, let's just say it was up and down. And when it came to my opinion now, well, I'll give my opinion on it after I do a review on each book one by one. This will be a brief review, just explaining the good things and bad things I have of each beast. And then overall, at the end, I'll be doing an overall summary of the series and then doing my ranking on each book. So with that, let's get into the retrospective. Griff the Feathered Fiend. Her design is great. It's a mixture of simple but effective. The blade wings I think is a great add-on and makes her design almost majestic looking. Her abilities are what you would expect from a beast that looks like Griff, except for the ice breath, but the abilities are used effectively in my opinion. The fight was, in my opinion, done well. The inclusion of Koldo was nice, despite me not being a big fan of Koldo. I still give credit to Koldo for helping Tom, but having Griff get defeated by being apprehended by a chain around her neck, I think it was different, but kind of underwhelming. So overall, the fight, I would say, is okay. On the topic of Battle of the Beasts, Griff took part in 2 tournaments, those tournaments being New Generation and All Generation. In New Generation, she died in round 2 against Morax, which wasn't that great. But in All Generation, she was able to redeem herself by not only surviving longer than Morax, but making it to the top 20 of 155 books, only to fall to Ferric, the Iron Soldier. Overall, I'd say Griff has a good reputation in Battle of the Beasts and a potential underdog for a future tournament, in my opinion. Forerunner the Living Storm. The design is one of the most unique designs in the entire series, with not even having a physical body. Unfortunately, on a personal note, I do prefer my beasts that to have a physical body, so unfortunately it doesn't hit home for me. Abilities are diverse and good as well. The shapeshifting was a surprise, as I'd forgotten all about it prior to this video. However, I don't think that the ability wasn't that effective. It wasn't really used well, so unfortunately. The fight, I feel, was also quite rushed and nothing really noteworthy except for Forerunner being defeated whilst taking the shape of Tom. For Battle of the Beast, he took part in 2 tournaments, being in New Generation and All Generation. In New Generation, he died in round 2 to Lycaxa, and in All Generation, he died in round 1 to Falcor. So not a great reputation this beast has, which makes him underwhelming to me. Although, now that I know of the shapeshifting ability, I learnt about this ability after rereading this book after round 1 of the Transformation Takedown tournament. And if I remembered he had the shapeshifting ability beforehand, I would have included him. But as I didn't, then he didn't get to take part in that tournament. However, though, I don't think he would have made it very far, though. Because of his reputation being what it is, I don't think he would make it far. Okko the Sand Monster. Design is like Forerunner is unique and creative, but like Forerunner, I'm personally not a big fan of it for the same reason, as I prefer beasts with a physical body. His abilities are good and I think more effectively used than Forerunner and give some creative liberty. The fight felt rather rushed and kind of predictable. That water would be Okko's weakness. On the topic of Battle of the Beast, he took part in 2 tournaments, which were New Generation and All Generation, in which he died in round 1 to Chiron in New Generation and round 3 in All Generation to Kyrax. Overall, a bit of an inconsistent reputation on Battle of the Beast, which gives me mixed feelings on Arco, most of which are negative. Sorex the Silent Creeper. Design is great in my opinion, and is a great take on a chameleon beast with a nice colour scheme and imposing look on the cover. Abilities are what you would expect with the camouflage, tongue and tail whip, but they are executed very well in my opinion. The fight is unfortunately kind of forgettable, but was drawn out, so kind of meh in my opinion. In the 2 Battle of the Beast tournaments Sorex takes part in, he dies in round 2 to Solix in the New Generation tournament and round 1 to Lycaxa in the All Generation tournament. This gives Sorex the same level of reputation as Foron, which is unfortunately not a good thing at all. So with that is my retrospective on Series 17, on each individual piece of Series 17 done. Overall, I would say this series is just okay, I guess. Each beast has their negatives, let's say. 3 of them are negatives, which I do have a problem with this beast, and the other negative is just a bit underwhelming. So, unfortunately, this series is a bit of a misfire, in my opinion, and didn't just continued on the trend of Series 16. That Series 16 started with being a not so great series. I call it kind of growing pains for Beast Quest in general, because after Series 15 it just goes on a bit of a downhill spiral from Series 15 going to Series 16, which I'm not a big fan of, moving on to Series 17, which isn't that great either, and then we go on to Series 18, which I'll get to in the retrospectives. But yeah, it's not a great part of Beast Quest in my opinion, and Series 17 is just one of the black sheep seasons of this entire series. There is, in my opinion, 2 standouts for good reasons. The one is a good beast in my opinion, and the other is a fantastic beast. However, the other 2 don't really save it much for me, and until they do well in Battle of the Beasts, probably will never do well for me. But with that, let's get to the ranking and explain why each beast is where in it. But yeah, I think it's kind of predictable what my ranking is on this. So with that, my least favourite of Series 17 is Foron the Living Storm. In my opinion, the design looks intriguing, but isn't really my cup of tea, really. The abilities are forgettable, as I forgot about his shapeshifting ability, and his fight is also kind of rushed in my opinion, with the only thing noteworthy is him being frozen in the form of Tom, which I didn't know about until I read the book. So theoretically, I should have included this beast. In the Battle of the Beast Transformation Takedown tournament. Bear with me. Sorry about that. So anyway, as I was saying about Boron, unfortunately, everything I need to say about him is pretty negative. His design is the only saving grace for him, and that's kind of it. Nothing else really saves him for me and makes him one of the more boring and forgettable beasts of the entire series. In 3rd place, we have Okko the Sand Monster, and his design is the only thing that stands out again, as well as having a bit of a better reputation in Battle of the Beasts compared to Foron. However, those are the only positives I have for Okko, because everything else is forgettable, and whilst I do have some creative liberty when it comes to his abilities in Battle of the Beasts, it's not as much as I kind of want to have, so it's just kind of forgettable beast to use and makes it not really worth using. So unfortunately, in my opinion, Okko is not a fantastic beast in my opinion. I do see why some people like it, but for me, I don't. 2nd place, we have Sorex the Silent Creeper, and what makes Sorex, in my opinion, the 2nd best beast of this series is that despite having a physical body, unlike the other 2, I like the design. I think it's executed very well and a good adaptation of a chameleon. I do remember most of his abilities, And whilst I don't remember the fight, I do, at least I remember the abilities, and most of them, maybe all of them. What also saves Sorex, in my opinion, is that the design is something that I liked from the beginning, and he was my favourite beast of Series 17 when I did my beast review. So when I first read the series, my opinion's now changed, but Sorex, my opinion, is still a great one in my opinion. And yeah, while it's not having a great reputation in Battle of the Beasts, most of them don't, so that doesn't really affect him that much. But of course, my favourite beast of Series 17 is of course Griff the Feathered Fiend, and I have been gushing about this beast since her first fight in Battle of the Beasts overall, which was against Zulok the Winged Spirit. I think personally Griff is a fantastic ice flying related beast and does deserve a bit more appreciation. I'm glad Jack agrees with me that Griff is the best of Series 17, and I'm not going to try and make him change his opinion because I agree. It is the best of Series 17 in my opinion. Beast-wise, abilities are fantastic, design is great, fight was a bit underwhelming, but her reputation in Battle of the Beast is by far the best one because she didn't die in round one at all, unlike the other three beasts, and has actually put up some really good fights. She put up a good fight against Morax before dying to him. She took on Rock, the Walking Mountain, probably other beasts which I'm forgetting about. She took down Merc, the Swamp Man. I don't remember her round 2 opponent. But she went against beasts that she probably should have died to, and the fact that she didn't just shows how resilient this beast is and how dangerous this beast is as well. Overall, in my opinion, Griff is the best beast of Series 17, and most of it comes down to how she did in Battle of the Beasts. I think she did redeem herself. Justice for Griff has been served. Only took 3 years for it, but it got there in the end. Overall, in my opinion, that's it. That's my retrospective Series 17. In my opinion, though, Series 17 is a little bit better than Series 16, but not by a lot. And when it comes to my rankings of the whole series, in my opinion, Series 17 is one of the weaker ones and will most likely be in my bottom 5. It'll be better than Series 16, but any other seasons that it's better than, I don't know. In my opinion, it's not a great one, and there's a lot of bad points with most of the beasts, and it's just kind of forgettable because it's sandwiched between 2 seasons which I do not like at all. So, and that kind of gels into Series 17 as well, which makes it a bit not great. I do like the whole concept of the Gwildorian borderlands and these beasts guarding fragments of this overpowered item, but after that, they just become forgettable. Griff is the only one that stands out, and that's all I can really say. So that is all for this. That is this video, and that is my opinion on Series 17. If your opinion is different, please let me know what you think of Series 17. However, I don't think my opinion is being changed, but I'd love to hear your opinion if it's different. And I'd love to have a good conversation going. See why you think Series 17 is a great series or worse than what I'm saying this is. So with that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down below. I'm not saying that far anymore. And please take with a grain of salt that whilst the story of Series 17 may be great, I do Beast retrospectives or Beast reviews. So my opinion comes only from the beasts, and the story means nothing to me. But until then, I'll see you in the next video, and until then, peace out.